A silhouette in poignancy. She awakened because she heard the piano being played. She roused because she recognized the piece. It was a requiem, and it was not of his own composition. She left her bed and donned a dressing gown in a terribly hurried fashion before rushing from the bedchamber and through the great house until she reached the music room. There she paused a moment, carefully opened one of the French doors, and slipped softly and almost silently within. She gently stole to his side, but she could hardly come so close without him sensing her presence. Elise? He turned, and she embraced him swiftly from behind. His hands moved up to caress the arms around his neck, the face resting on his head. "I'm terribly sorry, darling. Did I wake you? I mean, of course I did. You're here, but I didn't realize." His voice caught in a traitorous fashion, and he left off saying more. He just leaned against his wife and closed his eyes, wishing for the easier times that are often remembered as the past, but not until long after they were once the complicated present. "You didn't write that piece," Elise responded, as if he hadn't stopped in the middle of a sentence. "Are you so concerned by my playing the works of another composer?" Yes, she was. He only ever did so when he was angry, trying to discover the cause of their renown, or when he was discouraged from the lack of his own. "Oh, Bertram, what is wrong?" She almost wept the words. His voice, meanwhile, had regained complete control, and he said almost carelessly, "I have decided to go into politics, my love." Almost carelessly. Maybe his voice hadn't quite gained complete control. "Oh, my darling Bertram." Her voice was a defeated whisper. He turned to look at her, and she let go of his neck to rest her hands on his shoulders. "It is past time for me to accept failure and to commence a more lucrative form of keeping the family coffers filled. This estate and all on it depend on my family for their living. I am too soft for the army, too hard for the church, and the only respectable profession left for one of my family's standing is the law, of course. We need not mention that my education and family tradition all point to that end as well." "And what an end it would be!" Elise trembled in her anguish. "When you speak like that, you sound just like your father. God rest his soul." "Good. I am soon to be a father." Bertram Tracy looked down and tenderly stroked the sweet roundness of his wife's torso. "Who will provide well for this little one? Here his voice cracked. "Precious mother, if I do not change my present course, I must. He leaned forward and put his arms around his wife, quietly weeping into her heart. "Oh, Bertram," Elise said again, simultaneously taking his head in her hands and sitting down beside him on the bench so she could look into his eyes. "If you do not, then who will write the beautiful music of Bertram Tracy? Perhaps Bertram Jr. or Beatrice?" His half-hearted smile only opened the door of tears that Elise had been holding shut during all this conversation. And husband and wife held each other close in their bereavement at the hand of a commercial world.